if I can click the right button. Here we are. We're back. Another session of Castle of Glass. I guess I'll do the recap. Unless someone else wants to do the recap for once. Alright, I'll do the recap. So previously, you lot finished up your battle against Caliber and his men, destroying the construct as well as defeating his, I guess, militia. Fulfilling your deal with Zizi, who you left on good notes. Pretty much offered you as well, if you ever needed a rogue to help you. The kobold that was in her son's party, Selzo, she was willing to let you borrow him anytime you needed. After that, you all rested for the night and began heading north to San Marie to try to find the Deepwater estate and rekindle a relationship between Maria and a long lost friend. So you lot, it would be probably early hours in the morning when you all pull up to San Marie. Lucky stops the car because she was the one driving in front of a tavern. You know, most of you are awoken by the sudden stop and the turning off of the engine as Lucky lets out a deep sigh, and you see her, those of you that do wake up, press her forehead against the steering wheel tiredly.
I did offer to drive.
This is fine. We're here. I need sleep. She opens the door and slowly climbs out of the vehicle.
I was gonna say, take a nap in the car.
I'm gonna go sleep in my bed. You watch as she picks up the flask that she put in the door, the one that says driving juice, and just downs the entire flask. And then looks back. Yeah, she looks back and goes, if anyone else wants to go in the tower, this is the time. Closes the door. So the rest of...
Do I go drinking or do I go try and riz up Aria's family?
It's 3 in the morning. You actually don't know where the Deepwater Estate is in this town.
Damn.
You've never been to San Marie.
Where's San Marie?
The top of the am I saying the right name?
Morian Bay.
Morian Bay. San Marie is a different fucking map. Holy shit. I'm crossing streams. I'm sorry. That's from a different
What if
story
we take
entirely.
the estate and push it somewhere else?
Yeah, we're taking to San Marie. Where the fuck is San Marie? We don't know. No, Morian Bay.
God damn.
I wish you guys would have caught me sooner.
I'm sitting here looking at the map like, where's San Marie?
Jared's throwing papers in the air going, what the fuck? I don't even have notes on this place. God is gaslighting you. Okay, Morian Bay. Yes, you are stopped in front of the tavern right now. The tavern's name, you guys can see it, the sign on the front of it is called the Swashbuckler's Keep. Would you all like to get out of the vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting out of the vehicle.
Yeah. Anyone sleeping in the vehicle?
I'll take that as a no.
Take that as a no. All right.
And where did Lucky go again?
Lucky went behind the tavern to go into the tower because she wants to go to bed.
Oh. Why didn't we just do that?
Because you guys couldn't have just teleported here using the tower.
Oh, because we didn't set up a thing?
Because
you physically move there.
You have to physically move there, or you have to have up to 3 people to grant you access to the area that they stopped at.
It's like discovering a fast travel point.
Yeah, the tower has
to get there first.
Weird rules.
You can fast travel back to the tower, but you can move the tower wherever you want.
Jared, are you a mod on the con? If you are, I'm gonna let you choose if this is okay or not.
The message disappeared for me,
Oh,
so I can't.
are you not a mod on here?
So
No, I just popped out the chat and it got rid
Oh.
of that, so I can't see that. And I don't
He
feel like
said-
opening mod view.
He said Jizzler and sex.
Oh, I saw that. I just can't allow or deny it this time.
Should I allow it?
Not confirm or deny.
I
no.
mean, you already said the words. I don't know why you wouldn't.
You know what? You're
No.
right. I already said the words. They're accepted terms. Anywho, the electronic boogaloo.
So
You guys,
it is late as balls.
it is late as balls. It's like
I
2 in the morning.
tried to make the car ride as good as possible. So now I'm gonna go drink a little, and I'm probably gonna go hang out with Kiri at the training hall.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing to finish off the night?
Sleep time.
Drink.
I'm gonna
with
get a
Lucky.
good sleep so I can get up early and get all gussied up.
I am going to continue to study a new language because I finished what's it called? Deep speech.
Okay. You can perfect it, so we could say if you wanted, you just perfecting it over the night because you know the language. It's just you're still working on. You're in the basics level. You can't make a full elaborate conversation. So we'll say that's what you do for the night. Yeah, work on your deep speech.
And
But does it
I'll
speak?
summon my thing too, so I can speak with it and learn with it.
Sit across the room from it so it doesn't melt your brain.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Grom, you find Kiri late into the night. Just when you get out into that.
I'm gonna go have a drink or two with Lucky, and then I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
and then I'm going to
yeah.
Kiri.
Lucky went straight to bed. She didn't get a drink. She chugged down her
Damn, okay.
flask and then went to bed.
What a gal! All right, I'm a get a drink to go then or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but you'd find Curie kind of in that training room. Kind of you see her with a pistol just shooting down range. You can't hear it because the range is set up that when you are standing in the range, there is a bubble of silence around you, so the noise doesn't happen.
Dang, she just getting range time in. I can't even blame her.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna try RPing it, but I would like for her to teach me how to use a gun. I've never used one.
Okay. Roll me a. What should I make you roll to learn how to use a gun?
Less learn and more haha RP get taught cutesy time.
I'll let you roll straight dex.
Huh. That is a 14.
You're not a great shot by any means. You can hit a target. You can't hit the center of a target usually. There's one time that you hit it dead center, but you kind of closed your eyes when you did it.
Use the force,
yeah.
Luke.
Yeah. Just shoot blind. That's how I do it best. But yeah, are you going to sleep at all this night or
Well, yeah, I'm just spending my night risen up,
okay. Okay.
Depending on the time, like 11, 12 o'clock, I'll go to bed.
You guys arrived in town at like 2 in the morning.
Oh well. Yeah,
Kiri-
no, then
yeah,
I'll
Kiri-
spend like an hour then just hanging out and just be like, hey, all right, it's bedtime.
Yeah, you leave. Kiri is still shooting when you go. Did anything you have for tonight, Lebog? Or did you just say bed?
Oh man, I was probably sleeping in the car the whole time.
Okay.
I'd
Well,
probably
fucking
just
never moved.
He's editing footage.
stay up. I'd be in the common area editing footage. Yeah,
He's making UNT shorts.
I gotta make the little
reels.
cringy montage of like everything we passed by on the trip.
He took a clip of when Caliber went down and added a bunch of memes over it of just like, look at this guy, what a crybaby.
Remember, you can't upload it on Witch. You have to upload it directly to ReTube.
UNTube.
UNTube. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So you all, spend your time through the rest of the night. Rhea, you wake up at a surprisingly early hour of the morning. Probably just around sunrise you'd be getting up due to your would you be excited or nervous or both?
Nervous.
Okay. Yeah, so you probably had a little trouble getting to sleep that night. Kind of woke up just because you were just like, I can't do this. I have to get up and do stuff. You head down. You would find Lebog sitting on one of the couches in the common area, just like messing with footage. An unconscious Curie in an armchair not far from him, who would have wandered in at 4 or 5 in the morning and just passed out in a chair. Yeah, if you guys want to RP this, you can. If not, what is everyone else doing this morning as they wake up?
Is Curie still in the range?
No, she passed out in the common area.
Yeah, okay.
So she's out of range.
Yes.
Damn.
You'll never catch her now.
I'm probably
Darn,
just
there
getting
goes.
a bite to eat so I can go back up, get my makeup done and all that kind of stuff, get dressed, like using the accessories I got for my nightclub outfit last session.
Okay.
Should be a bit more elegant and presentable.
Okay.
I'm gonna eat breakfast at a normal speed, notice her trying to be speedy about it and be like, she's in a hurry, ain't she? Who's she trying to impress?
There's no one else in the room with you.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
Talking to his ancestors' ghosts.
Yeah, don't you know? Come on, they're always around.
Everyone else thinks you're schizo, but you know.
Who's to say that I'm not?
There was never any ghosts. He just really forgot to
Damn.
take his medication.
No, that's literally what I do though. I'm just in the empty food hall, just like, who's she trying to impress?
And after she kind of rushes out and kind of goes upstairs, Lucky does wander in, looking a little disheveled. You see her go over to the thing that makes coffee, like pour over coffee. You see her pick up a mug, pour coffee into the mug, and then walk away with the whole pour over thing. Just walks out of the room with that.
And I kind of yell over, is like, drink a little orange juice. It helps with the hangover.
She stops at the door, takes a sip from the pot itself, and looks towards you and just goes, "It's not a hangover. I just don't get up this early." She keeps walking off with the pot.
Nod. Yeah, that makes sense.
The bog, you see Lucky coming back into the common area with the coffee pot in hand, just drinking straight from it.
Straight black coffee.
Yeah, straight black coffee from the pot that is scalding hot.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Slay Queen.
She does a little almost like a claw motion. As you say it, tiredly makes a claw motion and then just walks back upstairs with the coffee pot.
What do you mean a claw motion?
You know, the ran. Motion.
No.
I like that I give a sound effect and Jared then can visualize. She is a cat.
Literally, actually.
Yeah.
What? She is?
Hey, you didn't notice?
Sound like he just
Oh my god.
collapsed and died from realization.
Well, that wasn't me.
Oh. Okay. But Zina, are you doing anything this morning? Silence speaks wonders. All right. there's nothing else, you all regather, you know, an hour or so after all of you have gotten up. Rhea looks a lot more lavished up, I think would be the term. Um, much more formal getup than the rest of you, unless you noticed that she was doing that. Lucky comes down as well in not a formal getup, but a much nicer getup than what she normally wears around you all. Clearly, she's trying to make a first impression.
We're dressing up, I see.
I'd like to come downstairs in my new outfit that I got in the last episode.
Okay. Yeah, and Xena is also dressed up. So everyone but the men are dressed up.
Correct.
I look over at Labog and I go, well, I guess I'll be the next. I'll be back. And I
Bog's sitting on the couch in just a shirt, no pants. That's how he does. It's
it's how he does.
I think better with no pants on. What do you mean? Okay.
I would like to come down in like a dress uniform, like essentially just a plain dress military uniform.
I picture it's something Akira gave you because she has a bunch of like guards that are dressed in like formal wear. She just kind of gave it to you because you used to be a guard for her, I would assume.
At some point, probably. I wouldn't be
So
surprised.
yeah, you have the same uniform that all of her guards had, just tailored to your size.
It fucking better be. I'm a goddamn dwarf.
You got a hand me down from a Lupin, and it was just like, damn, this thing has a must to it, and it doesn't fit me. This sucks.
The goddamn arms are longer than my legs.
Yeah. And the pants, like, I just can't even put them on. Labog, everyone else has gotten fancy around you. Will you dress up?
No.
No. Labog's like, fuck that. Sweatpants and a hoodie.
What am I trying to impress them? I'm a UN tuber. I don't need to do that. I don't impress anyone.
Now I'm really feeling that you're just in sweatpants and a hoodie.
Yeah, now I am. Yeah.
Yeah, now you are.
I was about to say, go in your editing outfit.
He's got the queso fit on.
I do.
Blue hoodie and gray sweatpants. Okay. You all gather though at the front. Lucky looks towards you, Rhea, and kind of gestures towards the door and says, "Well, you know this town better than the rest of us."
All right, follow me.
You guys head out into the square, seeing the large market area, heading towards the north side of town, kind of along the docks, not quite entering the docks as you go.
How much has the area changed in the ensuing 200 years?
Most of the buildings have been redone and are more. They're not as wood. Most of the buildings aren't wooden anymore. Most are now like a almost a concrete or a brick made to resist the salty air of the coast. There is the streets are paved now instead of most of them being dirt roads and such. The docks have greatly improved. There's now giant cranes and stuff to lift heavy cargo and stuff. The docks are themselves are bigger for bigger ships. This town is also has a lot more people in it than normal, or than what you're used to. And it seems to have expanded quite a bit since the last time you were here. And as you kind of weave through the somewhat familiar streets now, you come across the outskirts of the fenced outskirts of what you believe the manor used to, or the place you remember the manor being. You see large gates surrounding the manor. Pull up the details on this. Yeah, you see large gates surrounding the manor atop of every so many of the large kind kind of pillars within this fence line. You can see the Deepwater sigil as well as the Black Tides Forge Anchor sigil, kind of on these, kind of alternating as they go along this fence line. You see the front gates of this, a large archway with a intake and outtake lane of the estate. At this gate, you see a large kind of security booth outside, as well as a individual standing just outside of the security booth with 3 blink dogs by his side, kind of watching you all slowly approach the estate. And as you all get closer, you see as he reaches into his jacket, pulls a radio, says something into it, and then puts the radio back. And this is the individual standing there watching you all.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
As you all kind of approach, he just kind of eyes all of you, specifically looking towards you, Rhea, almost raising an eyebrow at your appearance as he is awaiting what you all have to say as he watches you approach. The 3 blink dogs
doesn't-
look to be staring at you intensely as well, waiting for his command of if there is going to be one.
He almost doesn't seem happy to see you.
I wouldn't know. I don't recognize him. Ria will go to approach, and she's obviously putting on some of like affected accent, trying to sound posh.
Okay.
From like, something from like her childhood, going to like the old royal balls and functions.
Yeah.
So she'll go to approach the security guard and his blink dogs and will say, "Hello, I require access to my family estate."
And who might you be?
Why do you not recognize your boss's long-lost sister-in-law?
No.
Then I'm not sure you'll be in your position for much longer. I am Fregaria Deepwater, sister-in-law to your mistress, Elira Nightlily Deepwater by marriage. My signet ring was lost to me recently, and I've come to acquire a new one, among other things, while I'm here in Morian Bay.
Ah, you're the one that Berezin is expecting. He'll be here in a few minutes. If you want, you can sit here and wait. He'll come out the gate.
Fine. We'll tolerate this.
He kind of gives you kind of a smirk and kind of does almost a sarcastic, regal bow towards you, and then kind of does like a dual whistle as the all 3 blink hounds kind of stand up, almost in attention, and then like turn towards the guardhouse as he turns towards it, and he opens the door, and the 3 of them go inside. And he gives one like sarcastic glance back, and then closes the door to the guardhouse.
He's going to arch her eyebrow, the obvious disrespect she's been showing. And she's going to reach into her pouch and she'll summon Boltion just to stand by her side as she awaits admittance to the estate.
As you wait a good 5 minutes or so, you see a tall red dragonborn dressed in a very nice suit approach the gate. This individual, wearing a nice pair of spectacles, kind of clears his throat and says, seems the dishonorable Deepwater has returned at last as Mistress Elra predicted you would. What brings you crawling back to our doorstep?
Dishonorable? crawling. Are these your words or hers, I wonder?
He kind of, you know, kind of looks down upon you, kind of putting his nose up as this is, as you say this. Just says most of the family feels this way after what you did all those years ago.
Most of the family doesn't matter. The only one I'm interested in seeing is your mistress.
She won't be back until tomorrow. I can let her know that you came though.
Mm, That is unacceptable. We require admittance to the estate today. We will await her there. We'll be out of your hair as soon as possible, but you will show me the due respect I deserve.
Hmm. You see, as he kind of crosses his arms and brings one hand up to like his chin. You can see he is also wearing one of the Blackwater signet rings. He says, "I'm afraid only those with the signet ring are allowed on the premises, unless
Mm,
authorized by one of the family members."
I suppose I could just take your hand and borrow your ring.
I mean, she is also a family member, is she not?
A dishonorable one at that. One that was disowned when she decided to run away. And he kind of gives a almost a growl towards you, Ria, as he says that. Um, and you can see as he kind of says this, like small like sparks of fire erupt between his teeth. His eyes almost flare up with arcane energy for a moment, and then you
Run away.
hear you hear from behind the gate though, as this happens, a voice just say, let me find it. You hear a young man appear from behind the gate and just say, "Bears it, they're guests of mine. You can let them in." And this is the gentleman you see, currently covered in like his apron has a bit of oil on it. It clearly looks like he was working in a shop before he came over here. He's sweating. Looks like he's out of breath a little bit. Berzin turns and looks towards him and says, "A guest of yours? Preposterous. No one wants her in the." And he immediately cuts him off and just says, "Elra told me to get them for her. You can go." He kind of lets out a low growl, looks back towards you, Ria, a grave look of disdain on his face before he huffs and heads off, kind of making his way back towards down the walkway towards the main estate. The individual kind of lets out a sigh, kind of looks towards you all and just says, "I'm really sorry about that. I guess introductions. I'm Thalen. Thalen Blacktide." He
Ah,
offers
yes,
yeah, he
must
offers you
be.
a hand, Ria.
She'll, t- she'll take it and shake in return. Thank you, young man. I'm afraid uh, I've lost my signet ring. The
Yeah.
intervening 200 or so years.
I've been told the stories. How about we? How about I show you around? The place has probably greatly changed since you last seen this place.
Apparently so.
Uh,
Security's a lot less charming than it was.
yeah, they're a little stricter than they were a few years ago, but your reappearance kind of may have ignited a few things.
I'm sure. Well, you know who I am. These are my traveling companions. Imagine I go around and introduce them all to our new friend here.
Okay. Lucky kind of goes up towards him first and kind of like takes his hand in like a very ginger shake and just says, "It's a pleasure to meet you, sir." And he looks a little confused by the formality. This guy's definitely not a formal individual. She kind of gives him like a smile before stepping back and letting someone else introduce themselves.
I'm trying to find this thing. I do that like salute where it's just like the salute and you kind of just like, I don't know, knife hand in their direction a little bit, like a wave.
Yeah.
No need for a name. I don't really know the guy, you know.
He kind of just looks a little confused and kind of gives a nod and looks towards the last two people.
And this is this attractive white man speaking to us, correct?
Yes, the attractive white man.
The attractive white.
Yeah, just making sure. What would this be? Kind of. I think this is more of like a. You know what? I want to try and what should I roll to roll for like more or less to see if I like stutter, like kind of break character a little bit.
Performance.
Is that a
Damn,
performance?
Yeah.
moving on already.
If you're making a scene of any kind, it's performance.
Okay. And honestly, and I know this is your call because I'm now a woman. I'm coming of age. I'm seeing all these things. You know, like I think that's a disadvantage roll.
You know what? You can do that if you want. Yeah, if you want to be nervous.
It's a 6. It's a 6. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nervous.
That's
I'm gonna
a
be
nat
really
1.
shy.
Yeah, that's a nat 1. You can't even get the words out.
Yeah, I can't get the words out. My eyes are gonna kind of like, you know, kinda, like severely dilate.
That's all
And I
I'm
start like,
picturing.
yeah, and I start like hyperventilating, and I feel like somebody's gonna have to do this for me.
I'm gonna
as I'm, like,
pat her
holding his
gently
hand.
on the back and just be like, starstruck, are you?
I feel like
This one's Xena. I'm Grombendrol.
She just kind of reverts back to just an owl. Just
Yeah, just full-
Natural
full-
instincts coming out.
eyes dilate, just full on owl.
full hunting mode.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And then I'm gonna go hide in the corner because I feel like I just embarrassed the shit out of myself.
He kind of chuckles a little bit, you know, finds it humorous, now looks towards the bog.
Yeah, I really do feel like Fortnite.
he's editing. He does not even pay
Yeah,
attention.
he's on his iPad.
I'm just distracted by what just happened to Xena.
Yeah.
Freaking isolate kids these days.
I'm a bog. Nice to meet you. Hi, how's it going?
It's a pleasure to make all of your acquaintance. Let's go. I guess I'll show you the estate, kind of get you all familiar with the place, considering you've come to visit and you all are here to see Lady Elra, which she will be here tomorrow.
Yes. What is your precise relation to my sister-in-law?
Oh, I am the oldest son of the Sabine and Merrick Blacktide, and I am the supply chain manager and do a lot of the mechanics here.
I see. Things must have changed quite a bit between the two families if they've consolidated onto a single campus.
No, this is just the bigger campus. But this is where we also get most of our prototypes and stuff made and shipped out.
I see. I admit I understand precious little of what Morian Holdings does these days. In my time, things were a lot simpler.
Yeah, the things have expanded quite a bit. It's a little hard for me to track sometimes, but good thing I'm good with numbers.
Right.
So,
Well, my friends and I would appreciate a tall campus, and my blink dog here, Voltian, would probably love to see your gardens.
we can start with the gardens, then I will show you the docks immediately after that. Follow me, and
Capital.
he leads you all towards kind of, you see the main building towards the back. You see, for you, Bria, you remember the manor being a lot smaller. It has been expanded upon greatly since the last time you've seen it. You all see a massive structure. Looks to be a 5-winged mansion. That is now taking up a large portion of this property. You see slated roofs that a lot of them have shapes to kind of almost mimic that of like old timey sails. Large glass panel windows. Most of the structure mix of like sea stones and pale woods, to be extremely resistant against the salty air of the coast. And as she leads you off to the side towards the gardens, you find the another kind of gated area within the lot. The walls around it, are the fence around it, kind of having depictions of curved waves. Within this garden, inside, a fountain sits in the center. Um, Almost shaped like a almost it's shaped similar to that of like a kraken's eye, and as you guys kind of look into it, the crystal clear water almost seems to pulse with arcane energy within this pool. Large hedges surround most of it. There is a small pond as well within this plot. um as you all are walking around, Boltian would be the first to hear it, but you all would hear a bark and turn to see a fairly sized, something equivalent of a Belgian shepherd running towards you with a scarf around his neck.
Oh my god.
I'm
So
gonna,
I'm gonna lean towards the party. I'll just be like, man, even Akira's place wasn't this fancy.
Their wealth's quite paltry in comparison to that of my family.
don't let Akira hear you say that.
I feel like Lucky actually said that as a warning.
No, that's what Lucky said. He's like, don't let Akira hear you say that.
Oh, okay.
The dog runs towards you.
Puppy.
The dog.
Now I'm gonna
The
roll to
dog.
see if he tries to tackle you or not. Not an aggressive tackle, but a nice tackle. Yeah, the dog jumps at you. I need you to roll me a strength saving throw.
It saw a big bunny rabbit shaped like a person. And it was like, ooh, prey.
Yeah.
Ooh, pets.
The dog jumps and like slams into your chest. You stagger back a little bit, but you hold
It
your
ain't
ground.
gotta jump too high.
No, it doesn't jump too high, and it just starts licking you in the face.
I give it some pets.
What a fucking boy.
It sits down and just kind of looks at you, and its tail wagging very, very aggressively. And
I'm just gonna sit there patting
yeah,
it.
Thalen kind of looks over as this happens and just says, "That's the Blackwater dog, Benji. I didn't realize he was out here." He lets out a bark, kind of looks towards Thalen for a second, and then turns back to you, Lebog, and licks you in the face again.
What a cute guy.
I kind of hold my hand out as an introduction, but I don't try and, interrupt.
The dog
Imagine I have some.
turns. Oh, I was gonna say the dog turns towards you and does like the front legs drop down, its butt in the air, like it's ready to like play as you put your
Oh,
hand towards it.
hold on. Hold the fucking phone. Hold on. Darn,
know
I
what?
don't have anything.
I-
I have Tinder that has bits of wood in it.
need
I
to
should have
change
some
this.
treats on me. Because at Boltian, I'll reach into a pouch in my belt and I'll pull out a treat and I'll give you one to give to Benji.
I'm gonna hold it out and make sure he gets I get his attention with it. I'm gonna toss it in the air as high as I can.
All right, I'm gonna roll for the dog. I don't have his stat block, but I know what he was.
This is the entire stream now. We're just gonna be playing with this dog.
The dog jumps for it. He misses it, and the dog staggers a little bit, and then chases after it, and picks it up off the ground.
Hell yeah.
Boltian, would you like to stay here and play with Benji?
Boltian lets out a bark and then runs over to Benji, and the both of them slowly move up to each other, kind of touch noses, and then both drop down at the same time, and then kind of stand up, then drop down again, then stand up, and drop down again, and then they both run off. Dogs
Well,
are
that
best friends now.
takes care of that.
Yeah, Benji runs off into the garden. Once you guys are finished in the garden, and Thalen kind of describes like, this garden's been taken care of for longer than he can remember. The pond was something recently added, and he doesn't know the origin of the pool that is shaped like a kraken's eye, but he mentions that it is also doubles as a scrying basin. Which he says is how Lady Elra was able to figure out that Rhea was moving about again.
Well, I did have to unbind that necklace of that protected me from magical scrying, that kind of stuff, to bind myself to that shield. So
Yep. Next, he takes you towards the docks.
that makes sense.
As you all get there, you see, not quite the size of the main port of the city, but a fairly sized one for a mansion itself. There are 3 large private vessels, and when I say large, I'm talking like yacht size or bigger, that are docked up against, or like set up next to this dock. A few smaller boats here and there. Looks to be a large workshop at the edge of the dock. You hear there's quite a bit of noise going on within it. And as you guys kind of like approach it, you see, stepping out of it, I'm gonna move Thalen's picture down to the chair because he's just now kind of accompanying all of you. 2 individuals step out, talking to one another as they do. I'm gonna make sure I'm giving you the right 2 people. Yeah, you would see this woman and this woman step out of the building, speaking to one another. The Tabaxi kind of laughing a little bit before noticing all of you and kind of giving a very friendly wave, while the woman kind of glances up and kind of looks towards Rhea in a bit of shock, and then closes the notebook she had in front of her and kind of begins to approach. And she says, "You must be the one that Lady Elra was talking about. Rhea, I believe, was it?"
That would be correct, but I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage. Who do I have the pleasure of addressing?
The name is Sabine. Sabine Blacktide. I'm actually, and she points towards Thalen. I'm actually Thalen's mother.
Your son's quite lovely. I've gotten a warmer welcome from my cousins than I have my own family.
Well, the Blacktides don't exactly agree with your family's perspective on everything. Yeah, there's a bit of tension at the moment. Nothing
I
we
see.
can't handle, though.
Well, lovely to make your acquaintance.
The pleasure is all mine. She looks back towards Tabaxi and says, "We'll continue this later. I have some other things I got to attend to." Tabaxi nods and says, "Of course." She turns towards all of you and says, "What brings y'all down to the port?"
Well, your son was giving
No, this is
us
the
a
Tabaxi
tour
now.
of the expanded
Sorry,
campus.
she leaves. Tabaxi is left.
Oh. Hello there.
Yeah. She says, "What brings y'all down to our port?"
Well, remind me his name, was it Thalen?
Thalen, yes.
Thalen here was giving us a tour of the expanded manor grounds, and I guess that extends down to the waterfront now.
Oh, was he now? That explains why I've been having to do more work than normal. She kind of looks towards him and he kind of like awkwardly looks away, kind of scratching the back of his neck. And she says, "At least he's doing something productive with his time."
I assume you work together. Do you have a name, friend?
The name's Tika Whistle Procket. Mechanic. One of the head ones, actually.
Lovely to make your acquaintance. And then I'll go about introducing the rest of y'all again.
Yeah. She says,
Same old shebang.
as you introduce Lebog, she's kind of like looks towards him and kind of points towards him and says, "I thought I recognized that face."
Not me.
"Yes, you."
How do you recognize me?
"You're on the internet?"
Oh yeah.
She kind of leans towards Yuri and goes, "He's not very bright, is he?"
No, but I owe him my
What?
life.
Lucky breaks into laughter at this. "Well, if y'all need anything from the workshop or anything, I'll be in there and I'm willing to help you with anything. A friend of the Black Tides is a friend of mine."
I'll lean over and go, "You happen to deal with any like handheld weapons?"
"What kind of handheld weapons we talking about?"
I'm thinking like a halberd, something long, kind of sized for the, I kind of like gesture up and down.
"I haven't messed around with too many pole arms, but most of my expertise is little doodads and gadgets." You watch as she kind of flicks her wrist to one side, and you see like a nozzle pop out from her sleeve, and like essentially this is a blowtorch that appears for a second, and then she kind of snaps her hand away and goes, "That wasn't supposed to happen. I guess I got a few more bugs to work out."
I kind of, who was it? I kind of look at Lucky and I look back and I go, "Eh, me. I mean, if you could think you can do a halberd, I would suppose, but I think she would probably be more interested in what you're working with."
And she looks towards Lucky, and Lucky kind of eyes her up and down. Goes, "If something comes to mind, I could throw it out there." Tika kind of gives a nod. Just goes, "Well, it's not hard to find me."
I give her a thumbs up as she walks away.
Look at you, making new friends.
I try where I can. I can.
Uh, and Thalen, as he, once you guys are done at the port, um, start heading towards the the main manor. He keeps talking on and on. You all walk past a, I want to say she's half. Let me double check my notes. Yes, you see a halfling walk by heading towards the garden. This individual, as she is walking by, kind of gives you all a very kind of ginger wave as she's holding a basket full of looks like a few bags of like fertilizer and a few tools for gardening. Phelan kind of, gives her a wave as well. Before she disappears off in the garden, and says, looks towards Uria and says, "If you're wondering, that's our gardener, Bree. Very nice lady, very shy though.
She's done a lovely job maintaining it, expanding it.
She's the only one that can do it, or at least that I know of that could do it. I know I couldn't keep a single flower alive if I wanted to, and that's why I work in the shop." As he walks on, he points over towards a building kind of off to the side of the campus, and kind of says, mentions it is the servants' quarters, so those that are employed by the Deep Waters and the Black Tides, known as the Rookery. Looks like a little 2-story building, kind of tucked away behind some trees to kind of block the winds from getting to it. Looks like a very nice building, and you can see out front of it where the front entrance is. There is a. Everyone, roll me a religion check. See if they recognize this god that is depicted out front.
Damn, that's a one. Crazy.
Nat one.
Damn.
Damn, am I the only one who got it?
I got a 22.
Okay. Zin and Grom, you would recognize this as the god Flukes, who you would know is, if I can find his note, there it is. He is the god of the flow of the universe, the oceans, the weather, and magic. Which, of course, would make sense in a place like this, considering they do a lot in the ocean. So this is the god you would kind of pray to for safe passage in such a place.
The god of the motion of the ocean, I see.
You swear you see the statue give you a wink as you say that.
I kind of just like straighten a little. I'm just like, I don't remember getting into the absinthe today.
Yeah, I don't remember drinking at all. Why the fuck did that statue wink at me?
This is fucking crazy, man.
Am I tripping balls? Here I can share with all of you a picture of said god, or at least the depictions you all would recognize of this god.
Hell yeah, lore.
The lore, yes. This is the portrait I want to use for this. This is not the folder for this. I need my character icon. There it is. Yeah. Da-da-da. Ta-da! There we go. You would all. This would be the depiction of him that you would recognize. He's a surfer dude.
Wait, actually, what god is it?
I can't believe Tanner's character came back and ascended to godhood.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe you remember that character. That was 4 years ago. That's crazy. Yeah, this is
4 years ago with only one session.
the session that never happened.
Uh-huh.
The one that was lost to time because Twitch didn't record it. I mean, the timeline was changed.
Time out of joint.
Yes. You all approach the main estate, though. I'm gonna change the song because I'm about to fucking lose my damn mind. Yeah, this one
Do,
works.
do.
As you all enter the main estate, kind of heading through the front entry, or the front entrance, you would find a large main hall, probably a good. Oh, you know, what I just realized the stream has not heard a single song that has been playing for some godforsaken reason because my OBS decided to be a bastard. That's really cool. And now it's playing it. Cool. It's fine. It's some awkward silence like some old sessions for the first hour. It's fine. As I was saying, the large main hall, you can see kind of this hallway is almost like arched along the ceiling, along the walls. There are pictures of generations of black tides and deep waters. You would all notice, it would be quite noticeable, there is one picture that is missing from the wall. Ria, you would remember that was where your portrait was. There is no
Lovely.
picture. You can see where the picture used to be, the kind of outline of where the picture sat for a long time, and it is no longer there. And you can see, you know, as you're looking around this main chamber, you can see the building kind of splits off from this main point into 6 wings. I think I said 5 earlier, I meant 6. And you can see they are each labeled. You see there is the Deepwater wing, there is the Black Tide wing, there is the Seas of Fortune wing, the Naval Port wing, the Heart of the Sea wing, and the Fleet wing. Thalen kind of, as you all enter, just says, this is the main chamber of the estate. Is there any particular wings you would like me to show you first? I guess the Deepwater and the Black Tide wings we don't really need to see because it's just our housing for the 2 families. But is there anywhere you would like to go?
We're getting the full tour, eh?
I
I
promise
imagine
to
the
show you
Deepwater-
around.
Imagine the Deepwater-
I'm still hiding in the back all the way, and I whisper under my breath when he says that I'd like to see your room. Hope he doesn't hear it, but I still say it.
Roll me stealth to be quiet about this.
Okay.
Dang, she moved on real quick from me, let me tell you.
I mean,
Oh my god, they're all up there. So
not necessarily.
He goes, what was that? Yeah, he's, huh? What was that?
And I look around like there's another person. And say nothing. Just. Oh, who said something?
He just kind of looks confused.
You don't need to know. That's all. Carry on.
All right. I guess if you guys don't have a preference.
Actually, I assume the Deepwater wing is the original manor.
For the most part, yes.
Suppose if it's not too much trouble, I'd like to track down my original chamber.
Take that headshot, bitch.
I guess we can do that. I can show the way, and you can tell there's. It's easy to tell that he's not saying something that he knows, and almost looks to have hoped to not have to do this. He kind of leads the way, kind of taking you along within the chamber, taking you to what was once your old room. The door has been changed. You remember the door being much different from before. It is now just it's been painted black. Looks to be made of a different material. The door handle itself is not the same kind of golden handle that it was before, but more of a like silver plated one now. He gestures towards the door and says, I believe this one is the room that you once stayed in.
Is it currently occupied?
I don't think so.
I try for the handle.
It's unlocked.
I twist it and open
Yep.
it.
You push open the door. It is a completely empty room.
Lovely.
And it looks like this room has not been touched since whatever was in here was taken out.
I have so many
Nothing left
memories
in
to
there
use
but the
to trigger.
cobwebs.
And the memories.
Yeah. Your family is kind of holding a grudge.
I'd hardly call them my family.
All
Not
of them
anymore.
except for Elra's son, Kalen. He's the only one not holding a grudge. Well, I'm not exactly.
Suppose I've yet to meet my nephew.
I'm not sure where he is at the moment either. I know he would like to meet you though. I'll keep an eye out. How about we head to the Sea Fortune Wing?
I suppose anything would be less dour than this.
Great. He closes the door. Kind of like gets away from this wing as quickly as possible. It seems this whole situation kind of has him on edge, considering it's probably something he's dealt with multiple days now, if not months. The rest of the house, he kind of shows you around. You see that the Sea Fortune Wing, a lot of like prized catches and like other things that the family has acquired, trophies, I guess, would be the most of it that's in there, as well as a few decorative pieces they acquired from business trades and things of that nature. Going through each of the wings one by one, the naval port wing looks to be essentially its own mansion filled with books and naval records, mostly historical documents and stuff of wars and seafaring, adventures and things of that nature, and like development of different ships and such. There are a few other books in there that are history but aren't necessarily about naval ventures or invention.
I remember when I was a kid, my moms would read me books like this. I expect some elements have made their way into your new library annex.
I think they're in here somewhere. I'm not exactly a reader, so I don't spend a lot of time in here. It's a cool place, though. I know some of them like the naval records because it kind of gives some ideas of some things that could occur while we're out at sea. Well, those of us that do go out to sea, I stay here. I get seasick.
Now that's an irony.
It really is. It really is. An unfortunate trait for someone who works with boats. And he continues on. The Heart of the Sea Wing looks to be the family's records of their own personal blueprints. There's a workshop space within here. There's also a display section of all the different prototypes they've ever made for the various vessels and things. Some of the prototypes, like arcane powered, like harpoon guns, and essentially what would be a depth radar, but using arcane stones. Things of that nature. And then the last wing that he shows you is the Fleet Wing, which you see is just living rooms, game rooms, and the dining room, as well as the kitchen. As you kind of head through this area, you do end up passing that Dragonborn from before, who kind of gives you a dirty look as he walks by Rhea. Does not say a word.
What's his deal?
He holds very strong to the deep waters opinions, I guess one could say.
What's his role?
He's the head butler.
I see.
The others don't get paid enough to care, or don't care, I guess. They don't really hold a grudge. They're just happy to have a job with us.
Dragonborns are kind of just like that. They find, if they're kicked from their clan, they find a clan, I guess you could say.
That makes a lot of sense. As you know, yeah, as he says that, as you guys kind of like enter the dining room, and he kind of like shows the dining room, you can see a human man and a tiefling woman speaking to one another, kind of having a bit of an argument. The two individuals, this man and this woman, kind of in the middle of an argument. And as you all kind of enter and they kind of stop and turn, the man kind of looks towards Thalen, a little confused, and then sees you all, and his eyes stop on Rhea, and just kind of the same look that Sabine gave earlier, kind of like a realization, and kind of like a, oh, this is, this is the one that we were told about, essentially. But the tiefling woman kind of just frowns and kind of crosses her arms. And then she kind of just says, "And who let you back on the property?"
I come and go where I please, she says, obviously trying not to throw shade on Thalen here.
The man kind of like goes to like calm this tiefling woman. She kind of like puts her hand up. She says, "No, why would a disgrace such as her be allowed back on the premises?" Thalen kind of just like steps forward and just says like, "It isn't fair to say. It's not exactly her fault that she hasn't been here in forever."
Disgrace, have you so forgotten our people's roots, kinsman?
She kind of turns towards you and just our family has known the roots since your disappearance and since your disgraceful act. She turns and just heads out of the room and just says, actually, she doesn't say anything. She just kind of like mutters under her breath as she leaves the room. The man kind of lets a sigh out, kind of looks towards Thalen and kind of gives him a nod, turns towards all of you and says, "Sure, Thalen has said this a number of times, but I apologize for her behavior. I don't exactly understand the grudge that they all hold against you. You are Rhea, right? The one that Elra was waiting on?"
That should be correct, and you are.
He kind of gives a smile and kind of does like the strong man point to himself with his thumb type thing. He goes, "The name's Merrick Blacktide, director of the Blacktide shipyards, actually, to be precise. I see you've already met my son. I think my wife mentioned running into you."
Oh, yes, quite lovely. Lovely to meet you as well. Your son and your wife have left quite a good impression upon me.
Even though the rest of your family doesn't think so, we believe you are still family regardless of signet ring or not.
Well, I'll add you to the holiday card list. And she'll do a light bow out of respect for him.
looks a little awkward about that and goes, there's no need for formalities. We're fairly simple folk now. Well, Black Tides are. Your family still holds to a lot of unneeded tradition, I guess you could say.
How things have changed. When I was a child, it's the other way around.
Well, you have to evolve with the times, and formalities are kind of a thing of the past unless doing business deals, which even then have a bit of more relaxing feel to them than they used to.
Well, there's that, I suppose. But yes, your son seems like quite a good lad. He's the one who led us on the property. Sorry, who was it that you were talking to earlier?
Oh, that would be one of your relatives. That's Captain Viral, Deepwater. She's a bit of a hard ass. Excuse my my language. She holds very heavily to family order and honor and all that.
Awful lot of pent-up aggression for someone who knows nothing of what they speak of.
Well,
But I suppose that's the order of the day.
when someone has the sense of humor she does, aggression seems to be the way to go.
I see. Well, I will let you get back to it, but I thank you for your time.
Of course. It's a pleasure to meet you. If you ever need anything, I'm sure there's plenty of people who've already offered, but feel free to let me or any of the Black Tides know. We'd be happy to help you.
Of course. And thank you very much. I'd return the same favor to you, of course.
He gives you a nod, and then as he kind of like goes to head out the room, and like as he, right before he goes out the door, he kind of looks towards Thalen and kind of gives him like a wink and kind of like a thumbs up, like good job, and just like goes out the door.
At this point, Ria's just gonna drop the effect for a second and turn the rest. You guys, when I was a kid, my grandma's side of the family were a bunch of hard asses, and it's nice to see y'all like not being that anymore. So
You saying this to Thalen?
yeah.
He kind of like pauses for a second and goes, thanks. Yeah. I thought you just talked like that. I thought you had held on to old tradition. All right.
No tradition. I was there when it was formed, back when this became a company.
Was there when it was written.
No, after the War of Sarfstag, I was born. My family, we got close connections with the royal family when my orc mother was knighted and my tiefling mother was made a lady. We became very close with the government. Started going to balls, to receptions, and well, that's how I met Elira in her capacity as the daughter of Sarfstag's new ambassador.
Oh, these times are much different. Anyway, is there anything else you want to see in the estate or anything? I could show you the wards and things we have on the premises, but I would need to go and check with someone real fast. Actually, stay here. I'll be right back. He walks out of the room. Kind of a few minutes.
That's your
goes by.
pleasure.
Yeah. He comes back in and goes, well, I do have permission to show you something, but there's something else I want to show you first. He gestures to follow. He says, follow me real fast. And kind of leads you back towards one of the wings. What he'd been to. He specifically takes you into. Actually, no. He takes you into the Black Tide wing, which is not all rooms. There's also some like common areas in there and stuff. Kind of takes you all into kind of one of the empty chambers or whatever. Kind of an upper floor with a large window. As you all kind of enter the space, the bog, your radio begins to static. You hear an unknown voice that just says, "They lie. Don't trust them. Truth hidden." And as that radio goes off, Thalen kind of glances towards all of you as he kind of enters the room and kind of, gestures towards the window. Just says, "I'm sure you haven't seen a view like this, Ria, in a while," and kind of gestures towards the view. This window kind of shows, kind of faces in the direction towards the north, where you can just see the waters of the ocean. And the sun's, by this point, is kind of like mid-afternoon, so like the sun's reflecting on it, kind of making this very like scenic scene of the ocean.
Well, at least some things don't change.
Also, Labog, you are the only one who hears your radio go off. Nobody else hears this.
What did it say again?
It said,
They lie.
They lie. Don't trust them. Uth hidden. You want me to try to do the staticking of the radio too? You want me to get into
No,
this?
that's fine.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold the radio. I'm gonna smack it a little bit. Shut up.
What's your passive perception, Labog?
15.
You would see Thalen kind of look towards you, almost raising an
16.
eyebrow. He kind of raises an eyebrow in your direction. Almost as if he also heard it, but isn't responding to it.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
And as that moment kind of happens, and he says, well, I guess we can... And he pauses for a moment, goes... And you guys hear a knock, and you hear Thalen's voice outside the door that just says, are you guys in here? And just kind of like wiggles the doorknob. You guys realize it was locked. And the Thalen that's in the room with you goes, well, I guess that's the end of the fun, as he has found us all. And he turns towards the window, he kind of pushes it open and goes, we'll see you get each other soon. And just kind of falls out the window of this third story.
What?
You guys think he's gonna be okay?
Does anyone run to the window?
Yeah.
You run towards the window, and as you see, you hear kind of the bushes below kind of shake a little bit. You see this fox run out of that bush and run off towards the far side of the campus, disappearing into the brush.
What? Huh?
Is he
Well,
okay?
I'm going to move over to the door that the other Thalen's trying to open and see if I can lock it from this side.
I
yeah.
look over towards Lucky. I go, well, did you expect that?
I've seen my fair share of people jump out of windows when they're nervous. Yeah. I can't say I expected it
Yeah,
from him, but I also didn't expect a second Thalen. And
I
You unlocked
mean,
the
I also
door,
didn't
yeah.
expect a fox person. You know.
there's a fox. I didn't see the fox. She kind of runs over to the
Hey,
window
what
and kind of
happened?
looks out. It's just like, where?
Damn, she got all excited by a fox.
She hasn't seen one in a while.
Yeah, true.
She likes wildlife. Anyways, Rhea, you unlock the door and open it. And Thalen's kind of standing
Yeah.
on the other side and goes, I thought I told you guys not to wander off.
Do you happen to be familiar with a creature that appears to be a fox crossed with a deer? Almost like a jackalope, but fox instead of rabbit?
No. What exactly happened before this fox appeared?
Well, you came back and brought us to this room. And then when you started knocking on the door, it jumped out the window and came out of the bushes below as a fox, deer, jackalope thing.
That second part is new to me. We have had someone playing imposter around here lately, and but they haven't done anything, so we're just kind of been watching out for them, but he also doesn't trigger any of the wards on the campus, so we're kind of confused and skeptical if this actually exists, but considering you all have seen it now, I'll let my dad know. And I'll let the I'll let Varnock know as well so that we can keep an eye out. But he says the blink dogs don't respond to anything either, which is also strange.
It's nice when this thing happens and it's not some huge sinister thing.
It's more of just been an inconvenience and kind of troublesome, as a lot of misunderstandings have occurred. Whoever's doing this is just mischievous at best.
Nice change of pace.
I was
Nice,
told
you
I
know?
can't show you the wards, unfortunately, but Varnock doesn't think we should be showing our security features, so I get that. I just thought showing family would make sense, but I guess not.
I know. I hardly know how to work a phone, kiddo.
That checks out. Though, I guess thinking about it, if I don't know what you all have planned for the rest of your day or the evening or anything, but if you want to stay here, you're welcome to stay in the Black Tide Wing. We have some extra rooms if you want, or if you had somewhere you're staying in town, you know, I could let you in the morning when Elra gets in.
It's probably best we stay so there's not any discomfort if we let you let back in.
That makes sense. I can talk to some of the butlers about getting some rooms set up. If you are hungry, I can talk to some of the cooks as well. Probably not a good idea to eat in the actual dining room, but we do have a space in the wing, so we could get food brought to us. Is there anything you all are feeling in particular? We do a lot of seafood around here, which is probably expected.
Whatever.
Alright, I'll see what the chef wants to do. If you want to hang out somewhere, there's kind of a living room downstairs if you want to hang out there.
All right.
He gives a nod,
Suppose
kind of
so.
heads out, kind of to go get stuff prepared.
I'm just gonna turn to Rusty on to. I am sorry. This is so awkward.
It's very awkward.
Honestly, I didn't expect much else other than awkwardness.
I mean, I didn't even know it got this bad, really.
Why do you keep talking in the weird voice? Why don't you just talk normally?
I was wondering the same thing. It is
Because
good
it's
app.
really fun to like lord over like your relatives that don't like you but can't do anything about it.
Meanwhile, I just thought he was talking about me.
I am familiar with disjointed family endeavors in this lucky talking. Little too well. She kind of pats you on the shoulder, Rhea, and says, you'll get through it. You want a drink?
Yeah,
And she
I-
pulls out a flask and offers it to you.
No, I don't generally drink. I should be clear-minded for this.
And more for me. Just unscrews the tap and just takes a swig.
I know Dalen said it wasn't a big deal, but should we be worried about that fox thing coming back?
Lucky kind of shrugs and says, I didn't feel any ill intent from it, but
I mean, if it sticks to trolling my grandpa's side of the family, I'm perfectly content with not doing anything about it.
It kind of reacted to my radio, so I don't know how I feel about that.
is that why you started randomly talking? Are you hearing things, the bog? Are you feeling alright? And Lucky kind of comes up behind you and kind of like wraps her arms over your shoulders and kind of just like puts her head on your shoulders. She asks this and kind of looks you sideways.
I mean, I'm feeling all right. I am hearing things though.
Oh, isn't that cute? Join the club. And she kind of gets up, and takes another swig of her drink.
We should probably make our way down to the living room.
It's probably hearing something legit since that fox thing reacted to it.
As Lucky kind of goes away, just oh no, the radio! It speaks to me. Woo!
All right, I can't argue with that.
She chuckles as she kind of leads the way downstairs. As you kind of like walk behind her, she is gonna offer you the flask of the bog. As you think, she kind of leans towards you and goes, "It helps with the voices."
Last time I had a drink, it didn't go so well.
Was that at the Desert Rose?
Yes.
I think we remember that night very differently.
Well, I mean, I don't remember anything at all, so we probably do remember things differently.
Well, it was fun for me, at least.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, what?
What you mean by that?
Internal feuds in the party. What's going on here?
I'll take a drink.
Attaboy.
Second time LeBog's ever drank.
Roll me a con save.
Oh no. How strong is it?
110 proof.
I feel like I should roll with disadvantage.
You can roll with disadvantage if you want. I was just gonna have you do a straight roll. Because it's one sip.
Listen. One sip. LeBog's never drank in his life.
Yeah.
Wait.
You make it sound like people fucking die on their first ever sip of alcohol.
I mean, I'm only 3'7", and I'm a rabbit.
Yeah, true. Alright, no, you got me.
Lucky is not that much taller than you. Like, she's also kind of short.
But she's also got a tolerance.
Yeah. You feel it. You're a bit tipsy, but it's not. You're not. Like, the world starts to move a little bit. You're just like, ooh. Ooh. Lucky kind of.
Well, at least it's not like the first drink at the Rose.
Oh, that. Ooh, that's one. I must get one of those again soon. That was a wonderful drink. So sweet.
Special drinks without what?
So sweet.
The dwarf.
So
Here.
Potent. So much fun. She kind of starts like.
It was before we met you.
She starts like dancing down the staircase, as like at the thought of this drink.
This is why I don't indulge.
And you guys kind of like enter the living room space. You know, she's kind of like, still kind of like floating around the room, kind of like in the thought of the drink or whatever, kind of enjoying herself. She goes around. Thank you for that. Whatever you just sent me. Character idea. The rest of you though in this space, 3 or 4 couches, a few armchairs. There's a TV, a fairly large TV on one side of the room that is off at the moment. What would you guys like to do in this space?
I'm going to disassociate.
Okay.
I'm way ahead of
Lucky
you.
still dancing?
Lucky's still
I wanna
dancing.
watch her.
Yeah, she's like dancing around the room with her flask, and like occasionally she'll like do like a dip, and as she does, she like takes another swig of her flask, and then just keeps dancing around the room.
Ain't nothing else to look at.
Yeah, she's like daydreaming about this drink, and she keeps like muttering things about the desert rose.
Now, what's the desert rose?
She glances towards you and just says, "Only one of the most outstanding nightclubs I've ever been to in my entire life."
Yeah, nightclub.
Is
Oh no,
that-
never gone to a nightclub. I've never tried.
Oh, they're so much fun. One of my favorite places in the world, where nobody cares who you are, where you can drink all you want, dance the night away, feel a little fun with people.
I wiggle my eyebrows at the fun part, and I go, "Yeah, the rest of that sounds like a. Oh no, losing yourself. It's not me."
It's fun to get loose sometimes and completely forget who you are. Or to get someone else to do it for you, and she kind of looks towards you, Lebog.
Huh?
Oh, you're such a naive little bunny.
Thanks.
And she like comes over to where Lebog is sitting and is just gonna plop down on the couch next to him, take another swig of her drink. And she's gonna kind of like wave it in front of you again. So, you sure you don't want more?
I'm fine.
Gave
What a
her
shit, yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
What a shame. She takes another swig, and Lebog, you'd be the only one who hears her mutter this, and you hear her just say the words. It does make blood a little sweeter as well.
What you mean by that?
What's that supposed to mean?
She gives you a very like cunning smile as she looks towards you and says, "If only you remembered that night. You know what I mean exactly."
Why?
She kind of giggles to herself, and then kind of just like throws her arms up into the air, and then kind of leans back, and then like one arm plops around your shoulder, and the other one kind of just on the back of the couch, and just says, "Oh, what fun it is to toy with individuals who just don't have the mental state for it."
Ria's just sitting there, like, stiff as a board, like, disassociating. Like, perfectly rigid and poised and stuff.
I'm gonna see if Ria's recovered from her,
Yeah.
her starstruckenness.
As Ria's kind of
Not Ria, fucking Xena.
Oh, Xena. Yeah.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
You check in if you're done from your embarrassing episode.
I've pretty much calmed down, but because of it, I've kind of just like shut off. just trying to be like quiet. in a way, if that makes sense.
It seems like the rest of the ladies need a drink as well. Loosen up, enjoy yourselves. We're in a mansion, for God's sake.
I'm trying my best.
She pulls out a second flask and throws it at you.
Aye, this might help. I undo my top button of my jacket. I take a big old swig.
Even for like a dwarf, this stuff is strong for you a little bit too. Like it hits a little harder than
Uh-oh.
what you're even used to.
Oh no!
It's not quite enough for a save for you because you are dwarven, but like
Okay.
it
Ooh.
like you taste it just like, oh
Man,
my
I
god. Like-
pre-rolled at everything. That would have been bad.
You could clean with this stuff.
That was a
Is how
fault.
strong it is.
But is it like ever? Is it ever clear?
The flask you're holding, it would be stronger than Everclear. And
Damn.
you look at the flask and it is labeled as clear mind. That's what it says on it.
Damn, where'd she get the fucking scrolls from Divinity Original Sin 2?
She also, and you notice like the flask that she is currently drinking from right now it's the one from earlier that said driving juice on one side and fun juice on the other. She's currently holding it to show the fun juice side.
How
Gotta
many
look-
of these do you have?
Let's see. And she kind of starts like digging, like she takes her arm off of the bog and starts digging around in her vest or whatever. She pulls out about 7 flasks, all differently labeled.
I'm gonna grunt and I'm gonna tilt the flask to her and tell her I'm gonna have to start carrying spares at this rate. Take another swig at the flask.
Now roll me a con save.
Woo! All right, no, that one's actually like all right. Hold on. Damn, that's a +8. That's a 18.
Yeah, you're a little tipsy, but you're not affected by this all that much. She kind of recollects her flask and she's gonna head over to Rhea and then dangle a flask in front of her that just says "for beginners" on it. And she like as she like leans forward and she like stops only like 6 inches from your face, like holding it between your face and hers, and goes, "You should take a load off."
I kind of agree with her. You're I don't know, just putting yourself off as something you're not. Eh.
It is necessary. At least until tomorrow.
So no drink?
No.
Shame. She immediately snaps onto Xena and goes, "What about you?
Not a
Little
fun drunk
birdie."
anyway.
What?
It might help you with your awkwardness." And she kind of
No,
dangles it in
no,
front
no,
of
no,
you.
no, 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 no.
I'm assuming
I
I'm kind of like in her area, so I lean over and I like pat / push her in the direction. Is like, come on, I saw how you were looking at the guy.
Yeah, but I don't drink. It's not good for you.
What do you mean? I'm gorgeous and I drink all the time. Lucky kind of like throws her hands up in the air, kind of doing a little display.
It's not good for the Owen.
Hey, it might ruin the sheen on your feathers, right?
Yeah, see, he already knows.
It makes my fur shine so much more. She kind of does a little twirl.
At this point, I pull my own flask. I was just like, I wasn't done.
Oh, a competitor. She tucks away the beginner's flask away again and pulls back out her fun juice.
This will be the last sip. Oh, I do want to be conscious.
I'm always conscious when I'm drinking. I don't forget.
Maybe you'll have to show me sometime, but not today. I'm on the job, and I button the jacket back up.
She kind of like leans towards you, like the same, like kind of walks over to you and like leans towards you the same way she did to Rhea, and goes, "I am as well. That's why I'm drinking."
Work life. I wonder if you bring it into the recreational side of life.
What's the difference? And she kind of like walks over and goes back to where Lebog is and like flops down on the couch again, throws her arm around him again.
The feeling?
Just like takes another long swig from her flask. With that, as you guys all kind of like sit around for a bit, eventually food does show up. You are led into a smaller kind of a small dining room of sorts, where you are, offered a very large spread of various fish, calamari, there's some like clams and mussels and such, shrimp, all this stuff. Kind of a large spread before you. As well as, multiple drinks, whether it be alcoholic or non-alcoholic.
I'll take a nice non-alcoholic drink.
One of the butlers comes over with a bottle of wine, kind of pours it in front of Lucky, and Lucky kind of stops him, hands him the glass, and takes the bottle. Starts drinking from the bottle. And he just kind of stands there with the glass for a second, and then just kind of walks off. Thalen kind of enters.
No, I'm doing that in person. I'm doing an in character laugh.
Thalen kind of enters the room and says, "Good. I was hoping you were all already here to get started. Mon Pa should be here in a bit. I think Tika may be coming to eat with us as well. I hope everything is has been better since you guys have been able to relax in this wing and no awkwardness has come about. Still feel kind of bad about how your family is acting, but I can't exactly control that." He kind of looks towards Lucky and goes, "And I see one of you has already gotten quite comfortable." She, pulls the bottle away from herself and kind of like looks towards him and says, like, "You're damn right, pretty boy." He kind of like pauses for a second, almost blushes a little bit, then kind of like plays it off as if nothing happened and kind of sits down. What is the seating arrangements? Who is sitting by whom?
I'm going to say that one of the ends of the table is a power move in case any of the deep waters come in here.
Okay.
We're picking seating positions.
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I've never done this. We're gonna do
I'm sorry,
this.
the deep tides.
So the table, kind of like this. Here.
Oh my God, we're drawing.
Here. Why did I put that there? Oh fuck. Here. So it's like the table's kind of like this. Very shittily drawn.
So Rhea's sitting like here, right?
No, she's sitting like here at the end of the table that I can't ping. There it goes.
Oh, I'm gonna sit right
Yeah.
here as a power move.
Okay.
It's about dynamics.
How many
Exactly.
doors are there to this room?
There's a 2 on this side of the room, and there's 1 on this side.
I keep my place. A power move. I'm sitting right there.
Okay.
I'd probably sit right here.
Okay.
See, he's got the right idea. Hold on.
Different.
I don't know why you guys
colors.
aren't drawing where you're sitting.
I'll sit right here.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta pick a color that fits.
I have to pick a color.
Shit
And
brown.
then Rhea is here. Your line is so thin compared to everyone else's.
Yeah, I had adjusted it. Hold on, I'm changing it back.
Oh, that's how I change the color. I've learned because I don't really use the drawing tool ever. So
Meanwhile, I use it every time we play.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the kind of the seating arrangement, and Lucky, who I will depict as a beautiful gold or a somewhat gold color. She is sitting.
Bam. I changed it back to where I was actually
She
sitting.
is sitting right here, drinking away. That is piss
Damn.
yellow. I did not give her a good color. So yeah, you all sit
The
down.
fucking piss is puke green.
I really had to piss, man. Piss it right now.
Damn.
Thalen,
Might want to be a doctor, bro.
nah,
Cut down
it's
on the drinking, maybe.
fine. I'm not drunk. You're drunk. And Thalen sits right here next to Rhea and Grom. Any RP you would like to do with Thalen? Any at all? Would you all begin to kind of dig in to the feast before you?
It's
I'm gonna wait.
Very lightly eating.
I wait until somebody else eats before me. And then I wait like 10 minutes after, just to make sure.
Since they're awkwardly twiddling her thumbs.
It was like 10
Yeah,
minutes.
I don't want to look like a fat pig.
I'm gonna wait for the other honored guests to join.
Okay. About 5-6 minutes, or 5 to 6 minutes after Thalen has already kind of sat down, both of his parents come in. They're gonna sit between the drunk Lucky and Zin. And then Tika comes in and sits at the very end of the table. A few minutes after that. They all seem very happy that you all are here. Continuously, expressing that they're happy to see Rhea again and see that she is in good health. Yeah, any RP at all? We just enjoying a good meal.
I mean, I'm trying to, make small talk with everybody.
Okay.
I'm not trying to go overt with it, but
Yeah. Any RP we wish to do with any of these people in this hall. I will add them along the edges of the screen so we can see the individuals that are all here. There.
I suppose I might ask, what should I expect when Elvira arrives tomorrow?
Well, as you probably expect, and this is Sabine talking. As you probably expect, probably she hasn't changed much outwardly since the last time you saw her, considering her elven blood. She's a little more stern than she once was, but that's due to some of the stresses that have come about due to recent events. I don't think you should have anything to worry about, considering she does seem to be quite worried about you. And Tinka kind of just pitches in and just wasn't she getting pissed off at one point about her not showing up? And you see both Sabine and Merrick kind of look towards her, as if she wasn't supposed to say it, and she goes, "Oh, I guess I wasn't supposed to say that I apologize.
It was difficult for me to return here.
I believe that would make sense. Considering you haven't been to this place in so long, and it's all very much different than it used to be. My voice is
I
changing.
made it
when I'm
a
done
point not to read up much on my family once I returned. So I'm curious whom exactly of my siblings she'd married.
And they all kind of think. They go, I don't recall which one in particular. It was
Yes,
just under 200 years ago.
yes, I was the eldest, of course. I don't exactly know if my parents had any more than my brother and myself after I disappeared, shall we say. Didn't look all too closely when your son took us past the family tree.
They kind of give nods and stuff. Just say, no. And Thalen starts talking and goes, I know Kalen wants to see you at some point, but I haven't been able to locate him anywhere on the estate. I think he might be out in town at the moment, but I could send him your way later tonight if he shows up.
Capital. She loved me, you know. Ever since we were girls. I didn't feel the same way. But and she's kind of like, I imagine she's like stirring her soup or something.
I pull my flask out again. I go, this is.
This is what? Cut off.
This is just getting awkward.
Lucky goes, you're telling me, and swigs more of the wine. Maverick kind of chuckles. Sabine kind of looks a little unsure about Lucky's state. You watch as Tinka just kind of looks towards Lucky and goes, hey, you should save some of that for the rest of us. And she tries to take it from Lucky, and the two of them kind of like start pulling back and forth on each other.
Hey, now I already see where this is going.
Now, what I'm most interested in seeing is why exactly they're all so irate towards me. Lyra knows the truth of the matter, of why things ended up the way they did. So I'm just curious is all.
They all kind of awkwardly sit there for a second, and Maverick kind of finally pitches in, or Merrick kind of pitches in and goes, it's involved when you disappeared. I think you and your mother had a dispute of sorts, and I want to say whatever the fight was that happened, if I'm remembering the stories correctly, you essentially said you didn't want to be a part of the family or something and stormed out, and your mother never saw you again or something.
Stories. Don't always take them at face value.
As you say that, Rhea, you say that, and you hear in the back of your mind a deep, guttural chuckle, a very familiar one, specifically the one of Timor. As you come to the realization that your little deal with him may have affected the timeline.
She furrows her brow. I've just had the most disconcerting thought.
Lucky kind of turns towards you and goes, "What is that?"
I'm glad I was able to break up the cat fight, but anyway, continue.
Yeah, she like lets go of the bottle as this happens and just kind of turns and goes, "What is that?" As you watch as Tika takes the bottle and like goes to drink some of it and then kind of like looks disappointed at the bottle and kind of shakes it upside down, showing it was empty the whole time.
I give her
Well-
my flask.
I mentioned that I misplaced my signet ring. I sacrificed it to the god of time.
Death. It was god of death.
Well, the god of death. Sorry.
They all look
It's just
really confused and Lucky kind of squints her eyes at you and goes, "Is that when you were running around with Ignitus?"
probably.
Yeah.
My memories are but hazy, and I think that's the root of the issue here.
Oh, that's when she changed, and she points at Xena, and just goes, "That's when something about her seems different. I don't know what it is, but I have wondered about it. I just didn't feel like asking."
See that troublesome time, or I think he might have screwed around with events a bit retroactively. For my recollection of things, although I did sacrifice some of my memories, I never had a dispute with my mother.
You know the gods, they like to play their little tricks on people and do little things.
Except in this case, it seems that this little god inserted a domestic dispute into my own past. That seems to have soured my relationship with my side of the family.
Yeah, it builds character, you know? Domestic,
I suppose.
domestic disputes.
I loved my mother's more than anything. The cult did drive a bit of a wedge between us, I admit. But I'd never
Wow.
disown myself.
I mean, everybody has family disputes at some point.
You should look over at the Black Tides. You know about the cult, right?
We're familiar with the cult, yes, and I think that's where we were told you ran off to, and then were not heard of again for 200 years. And around this point, as they start explaining this, you see Lucky kind of get up from her chair, kind of let out a hiccup, and kind of like stumble out of the room.
Huh.
Is she going to find more alcohol?
Are you going to ask her?
God, I hope so.
Well, she's already gone. How can I ask her?
You don't know.
I mean, ask her on the way out.
Yeah, you can ask her on the
I'm
way
just
out.
kind of saying
Oi.
that to the room.
I guess I'll do that. Oi, where you off to? And I'm all scoot out of the chair.
She kind of like leans her head back into the room and just goes, "Bathroom."
Oh, okay. Darn. And here I thought you were gonna find more.
No, that's after bathroom.
Okay, now I'm coming.
She just kind of stumbles out of the room, or like out of sight. Grom, you go and follow her.
Waddle my way, as
Uh,
dwarves do.
Yep. All right, you can continue your conversation now, as they mention, you know.
Well, it appears a might deal of time or might have caused some, well, unintentional ripples across the timeline, I might say. Specifically regarding my departure from the estate.
That is quite the predicament, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
After
I don't.
all.
And this is Tika talking. Just as I don't know much about the gods. I just know I ain't willing to mess around with them. Nothing good ever comes out of a deal with a god.
Savanoff was my mother's midwife. I'm not sure you knew that.
And the Black Tides all kind of shake their heads. And Sabine just says, the only goddess or god that has ever been really mentioned on our estate for the most part, at least in my time, has been Flukes, but that's just due to our connection with the ocean.
Quite interesting. I don't believe he was worshipped in my time. Our house patron was, well, my grandparents, they, being tieflings, celebrated their own gods, but my mother was specifically connected with Savanoff. She was a house patron. Luke's didn't exist.
Seems that times change quite a bit over 200 years.
Times change, indeed.
Around this point, I'll say, Grom, as you follow Lucky and you end up finding a bathroom, she kind of locks herself in there.
I'm not following her directly.
Oh, you're not?
I'm keeping an eye out down the hallways for where the kitchen or the wine cellar might be.
You would know that would be in a different wing of the house.
Mm.
Would you like to go exploring?
I'm not gonna stray too far, just so that we could find this together, right?
Yeah.
But I'm definitely gonna wander towards like the center where the wings converge.
Okay.
While Rhea's trying to fucking get her family life back together, I'm just sneaking out for booze.
Trying to find the booze.
I gotta refill my flask that I started drinking from.
Yeah. Around this point, as you're kind of like looking around, oh, what do I want to do with this? Yeah, you would see Berezin kind of making his way along in one of the hallways, kind of near the main area or the main hall. Kind of
The Dragonborn guy.
Yeah, the Dragonborn guy. Kind of, you see him move about for a second, kind of like checking things. You see him disappear off into the heart of the sea wing. Then you notice a minute or so later, him walk out of another wing, look around, straighten his tie, and kind of head off towards the fleet wing.
I'm gonna wait for him to scoot into the fleet wing, and I'm gonna head into the sea wing.
The heart of the sea, the one where you saw the other one go in?
Yeah.
Okay. You follow that one. You see him kind of, making his rounds. You see him like, he'll run like a hand over like a table to check for dust or whatever, and kind of like rubs his fingers together. It looks like he's doing checks to see if everything is clean and up to standards.
What about the other guy? Am I too late to go follow the other guy?
You can try to scurry after him and see if you can find him.
Yeah, he looked like he was looking for something. Let me go after him.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
14.
14. You go in there and kind of start like peeking head in rooms and stuff. You don't see anything out of the ordinary. A few butlers kind of look at you confused, but like they'd seen you in the house already, so they're just like not really saying anything. One kind of asks, just can I help you, sir? You lost?
A little bit, actually. I was just looking for the nearest bathroom.
Oh, right this way. And he kind of leads you kind of to a different part of the wing, kind of shows you the bathroom.
Oh, thank you. I sneak in and I, wash my hands nice and thoroughly real quick. And I just, after a minute or two, I walk back out and I'm gonna go back towards the convergence. It would be like, well, I don't think the alcohol is this. Is the alcohol this way? Might this be where the alcohol is?
You know that the kitchen is in the deepest part of this wing.
Oh,
And that would
okay,
be
cool.
more than likely the place to
I'm gonna watch the hallway and wait for Lucky then.
go. Okay.
If she doesn't show up in the next 5 minutes, I'm going in.
The next time, so you get there. You get to the bathroom. Door's kind of cracked open slightly. You can hear muttering inside. Kind of a few hiccups come from Lucky.
Oh, this this is a unisex bathroom.
No. The bathroom was closed when you left her. It is not closed anymore.
Oh.
You want to peek in, or you want to just like let it be?
No, I'm gonna let it I'm gonna let it be. What the fuck?
Okay. The rest of you, probably about 10 or so minutes after the two of them left, Lucky returns on her own. Still in her drunken state, kind of moving awkwardly about, kind of sits down at the table. And goes, she just kind of looks around and goes, "Is there any more drinks in here?"
Didn't Grom go with you to find some?
She kind of like looks up and goes, "I guess he did. He wandered off when I was in the bathroom. I'm not sure where he went. I completely forgot that I was supposed to be with him." She kind of hops back off the chair and kind of like stumbles a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up and go with her this time. Someone got to keep track of the drunks.
Okay.
Well, that's the funny part. I'm not drunk. I just want to go get something. I want the fancy stuff.
You follow her out there, and she kind of turns and goes, "Oh, you're coming with me?"
Well, I don't think you're gonna find them on your own.
And she kind of shrugs. It's like, I guess. She kind of just starts wandering along. After, like a minute or so of you following her, you see Grom down the hallway. You turn a corner and you see her kind of stop. Grom, you see Lucky down the hallway, but you also hear Lucky in the bathroom.
I'm kind of like stopped for a second. I look at the bathroom. I look at Lucky. I go, I really need to get off the thing.
Yeah, door opens. Lucky comes out. She's holding a new bottle of wine. And goes, "Wouldn't you believe it? That mean old Dragonborn gave this to me."
I mean, you do have a way with people, but what about yourself? And I point at the other Lucky.
She looks towards herself. Herself looks at her. They stop.
Do I see the other one out down the hallway too?
Yes. And then they do the Spider-Man point.
I'm just like looking back and forth between them, like what?
They slowly start walking towards each other. And she, the one that was in the bathroom kind of reaches up and touches the other one and goes, "Wow, I look amazing." And they just start muttering to each other for a minute.
This is more awkward than I thought it would be. I need drink to deal with this.
Lucky the one that has the bottle offers you the bottle.
What vintage is it?
300-year-old.
Damn, that's some good stuff. But I'm not a wine drinker. Wine is for elves.
Yeah, suit yourself. Takes another sip, and
Meanwhile, the kitchen.
yeah, you're gonna turn and go towards the kitchen while there's two Luckies talking to each other.
I'm gonna let this situation figure itself. You gotta remember, I like Lucky, but she's also not part of the group I'm currently entitled to protect. And there's two of them currently rubbing each other's fur and talking about how good they look. I'm out of there.
I'm just sitting there watching, like, what is going on? My hands are on the side of my head, like, what is happening?
I hope you're streaming that, streamer boy. And I round the corner.
You hear as these two Luckies are, admiring one another. You hear within your head a familiar voice, one that you've heard before.
Who?
But just not you, but Lebog does. Lebog hears it of just. You hear a familiar voice just say, "Oh, how long it's been since I've last been in your presence, boy." And the radio goes off again, and you hear the words, "He moved it, made it vanish to the unworthy, the unfaithful." And then as that happens, you kind of blink, and you see there's only now one Lucky, and she falls over, face down on the ground, unconscious, snoring loudly with the bottle clenched in her hand. I'm talking like butt up in the air too. Like that kind of falling down.
What did both of those messages say?
He said, "Oh, how long it's been since I was last in your presence, boy." And then it says, "He moved it, made it vanish to the unworthy, the unfaithful." And then you
Read
hear,
it slowly, forehead. Damn.
Literally, God. Oh, God.
"He moved it, made it vanish to the unworthy, the unfaithful."
And what did the voice in my head say?
"Oh, how long it's been since I was last in your presence, boy."
Can I, like, roll history or something and see if I recognize the voice?
Sure, roll history.
Uh-oh.
Not a clue.
Oh, that's weird.
I will say with your passive perception too, you look over towards the window and you see the same fox from earlier running past the window as it had looked up at the window for a second, made eye contact with you, and then ran into the underbrush outside.
I knew that thing was going to be a problem.
And you then hear the words in your head, "We can speak more tonight when everyone's involved."
Wow. I'm just gonna go pick up Lucky and try to carry her back to the dining room.
You pick her up and she mutters under her breath a little bit. She kind of like clings onto you, still holding onto the bottle, and like in her unconscious state, drinks more from the bottle. And then just like at some point kind of just like places her head on your shoulder, and you just hear just like mutter the word, just like, "You smell nice."
That's thank you.
She is purring slightly.
And I'm just carrying her back to the dining room.
Okay. Behold, Lebog and Lucky return to the dining room. Lucky unconscious and purring against his shoulder. The dwarf is nowhere to be found. You see,
We found the fox again.
you see all four of the individuals kind of glance towards you. Thalen kind of face palms a little bit. Like, oh, I guess it is more of a problem than just messing around now. Tika kind of looks around and goes, "A fox? What do you all mean, a fox?" I haven't seen no fox.
I don't know. We've seen it like 2 times today since we got here. I don't know how common and how often you guys usually see it.
Merrick kind of speaks up and goes, "It's caused a few situations. We didn't realize it was a fox, but I think we know what you're talking about. If Thayland information is correct on what he told us about what happened to you all earlier."
Uh-huh. Yeah. I think it likes me. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Sabine gets up and goes, "I'll go talk to Varnock, see if he can resolve this issue. It seems to be getting increasingly more of a nuisance. I'd rather not deal with this anymore." She, gets up and leaves and goes, "I hope you all enjoy the rest of your dinner, and hope you enjoy staying with us for the night." She heads out.
Yes, this was delicious. I have some things to think about. I'm going to retire to that unfurnished room you led me to earlier, young man. I know. It's not going to be very comfortable. They don't want me over there. That's why I'm not going to tell them. I just need to meditate on some things. Alone.
All right, if that's what you need. I'll have one of the butlers stay nearby if you need something. I hope whatever it is you're trying to meditate over is resolved.
It's unnecessary.
You head out. Thalen kind of.
Yeah, I bid you adieu.
Yeah, kind of looks awkwardly and goes, "I surely hope that her family doesn't cause her more issues than is needed. I feel bad for her."
She'll be fine. We've been through worse.
I can't imagine anything worse, but I've also not really been much for getting out beyond the workshop. He kind of looks towards him and says, "Really? I think we need to get you out more." She kind of, gets up from her own plate and goes, "Well, it was good to enjoy dinner with all of y'all, and hopefully she gets better." And she kind of points towards Lucky, because I figured this would be the result of the dinner after seeing her drink that wine.
Oh, this is like her usual state. She's perfectly fine.
Tinka chuckles a little bit at you saying perfectly fine, as Lucky's purrs get louder. it's to the point that your shoulder is starting to hurt just from just the vibration of the sound she's making.
I'm not really paying attention to it.
She kind of, wishes you good luck with that and kind of heads out herself. Merrick doing the same. And then Thalen kind of offers a hand and says, "Do you want me to show you all to the rooms that were prepared for you?"
I guess. I don't know. You'll have to find Grom later. I don't know where he went.
I'm sure he's not too far away.
All I know is he was going to look for some good alcohol, so...
No, hopefully he likes wine, because that's really all we have for the most part, unless he finds the rum that I'm told is somewhere around here, but I don't know where.
He's probably going to find it.
Well, knowing a dwarf, yeah, more than likely. Anyways, let me show you to your room. And he helps you with Lucky, kind of takes you upstairs to the second floor to these, there's a line of, like, 5 bedrooms. Kind of helps you take Lucky into one of them, sets her on the bed. As you try to get away from Lucky, there's a moment she kind of grabs you and goes, no, don't go. And then she kind of falls limp again.
Is there just the one bed in each room?
Yes. You can see her, like, after you pull away from her, she's still kind of, like, opening and closing her hands, like, trying to, like, reach for you.
Is there, like, a chair in the room?
There is a chair in the room, like an armchair.
I'm gonna sit on the
A
chair
chair.
and try to fall asleep in that.
Did you say you're a chair? Is that what I just heard?
Cockpit chair.
Repeat that? You broke up a little
He
bit.
said cuck chair.
Oh, cuck
Cuck
chair.
chair.
Cuck chair. I heard chair.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Bro.
trying not to have to repeat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Xena, do you just go to the room that you're shown?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got to the room and chillax.
I'm surprised I haven't shown back up yet.
Grom, you're searching around for alcohol.
Still?
This would have been like a 20-minute endeavor that this whole situation happened. During that time, get rid of the people on screen that are no longer with people. As you go down one of the hallways, you looking around kind of in this kitchen area again, you hear in the kitchen someone kind of like moving around and just like not exactly slamming shit, but they're not being very nice about the way they're going about things. But you do find the kitchen again.
I peek in. What the hell's going on here?
You see this individual inside of the room, kind of looking about. She seems to be looking for something to eat. Looks to be dissatisfied in everything that she's seen in like the kitchen, or the kitchen, in the fridge and stuff, and what is already out.
Damn. I feel as though I shouldn't interrupt. I feel as though I'm on a mission here. Yeah, I'm gonna sneak out. I'm not gonna bother her. She looks like she's busy.
She looks pissed.
After all, I am trying to steal wine, or not wine, like alcohol in general.
Yeah.
I got that fancy bag of holding from that old man.
That I could hide alcohol in.
Exactly.
Yeah, your quest though for anything but wine seems to be fruitless. Eventually, one of the butlers showing up to you and comes up to you and says, "Master Thalen requested I show you where you'll be staying for the night."
Ah, fine.
Luigi,
You happen to have anything other than wine available?
I can see what we have, and I can bring it to your room if desired.
If you
Ready.
could,
So-
that would be fun. Thank you.
Is there anything in particular, or are you just looking to wet your whistle?
Nothing too strong, preferably. No like vodka or whiskey. I am a bit of a bourbon man, but just anything will do.
I'll see what I can find. And he shows you to your room. You can see it is a
Excellent.
room close to where the others are. Eventually, you are brought a very small container of not an expensive, decent quality rum. The container is already half drinking, but he brings it to you and says, "I'm sure the masters of the house won't mind if this goes missing."
I think. And as soon as he leaves, I'm assuming he like poured me a glass. I downed the one like shot, and I slipped the rest in the bag of holding.
Okay. Ria, you head to that room by yourself. Not a hard
Yes.
task to do, sneaking around. I know with your stealth it wouldn't be very difficult. Going along, you do you slip past Captain Viral at one point, kind of hiding behind something in the hallway as she passes by. Beyond that, a few butlers notice you but don't say anything. You head to the room, slip inside. The room is empty, quite dusty in this space, the air very still. Though the room is familiar to you, it also feels extremely foreign by this point.
Imagine I'm just kind of like sitting in the middle, I'm just thinking. I'm just like, and while I'm doing that, I'm just absent-mindedly kind of like drawing like rudimentary kind of like like pictures in the dust.
Okay. Roll me a wisdom. Roll me a wisdom save.
Only a 9.
Okay, with a 9. As you are kind of doing this and kind of in the dark alone, you get a shiver down your spine. A odd sensation. Something strange kind of comes over you, and you feel as if for a moment you're not alone, kind of looking around. As you do, you kind of look down at the rudimentary figures you've drawn, and you look down as you appear to have drawn amongst the little stick figures and other things a singular eye drawn upon the ground, pin shot pupil within it, kind of looking up towards you. And as you kind of stare at this for a moment, it almost as if the picture you drew blinks. And as you kind of shake your head and kind of look at it again, the picture seems to have not moved. And as
Interesting.
as you are, processing this information and trying to figure out what happened to you, your body kind of goes cold for a moment. Your vision kind of in this room, it's already dark. You can barely see. It kind of gets darker within this room as you almost feel like you are being compressed by. This music is not helping with this scene. As you feel as if you are being crushed by this darkness within this room, it's hard to breathe. You hear in the corners of your mind some hysterical
Sadistic.
laughter going in with that word. Hysterical laughter within your head. The smell of iron hits your nose. The taste of blood on your tongue for a moment. Your hands shake, your body kind of freezes up. And as you feel overwhelmed by this, suddenly there's just, a single knock on the door. And the feeling goes away. And you are back to silence. sitting there
Oh,
in the dark.
roused
alone.
by the knocking, I'll collect myself, stand, and approach the door.
You open the door. You see a tiefling gentleman standing on the other side, or what you believe to be a tiefling gentleman. It's based on his appearance. He kind of looks surprised as he's like holding his hand up to do a second knock. Kind of shocked for a moment. He's a. How tall are you again?
Time to check my character sheet. I'm 5'11",
Okay, he is slightly taller
excluding
than
the
you,
horns.
standing about 6'1". Kind of looks down towards you, kind of looks a little, caught off by your sudden opening of the door. Just says, you must be Rhea. The one that the rest of the family is not happy that you're here.
It would seem so. And you are?
I'm Kalen. Kalen Deepwater, your,
Yes, my nephew. Please, come into my humble abode.
Alright, it would be good to speak in private. And he kind of like looks around down the hallway and kind of steps in, closing the door behind him. Just says, I hope the others haven't caused you too much grief.
Well, I'm good at putting on a brave face, and our cousins, Black Tides, have been all too accommodating. I mentioned that you'd wanted to meet me.
I did. Mother had told me quite a bit about you and how you two used to travel together long before you disappeared.
Tell me, who was your father?
So I don't remember the name of your siblings in the game. This is DM to player. I do not remember the names.
I never named him. You get to make one.
Shit. I'm not making a name on the spot, but it would have been the brother you remember.
Interesting. I expect he passed a long time ago.
Yeah, he did. I'm only have been around so long due to a little bit of elven blood in me. I think
Convenient.
in about a zenith and a half from now, I think I'll be hitting 143.
Younger than my own nephew. Well, it's lovely to meet you. I fear to tell you this, but it seems that time has gone all out of joint, and it's my fault.
If you're anything like what I've been told your mother was like, you're not too much different than her, and I'm not surprised that you found trouble for yourself, as it seems many adventurers of your bloodline seem to do so.
Yes. Talking to members from our family, I have certain incongruities that appeared in descriptions of events I was allegedly involved in that appear to have caused retroactive friction that seems to be on display here.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainties with that. Mother didn't exactly elaborate on the situation, as she knew very little, but...
Oh, yes, I'm quite curious to speak to her. Pick her brain as well on her recollection of events.
She should be here in the morning at some point. Probably, I think, just after I'm supposed to leave for a business trip. That's also why I wanted to come and see you first. Just to see that it was actually you, and that I actually greet you warmly, unlike the others.
Here I am. And I thank you for it.
hope this isn't too much for you with all of the changes that have happened here since last that you were here.
No, it's been a long time. I'm not here for me. I haven't told the others why I'm here.
What reason might have you come back if it's not to see the estate?
Someone died because of me, or rather because I brought them along. And, well, the estate's quite wealthy enough to fund a true resurrection. Disintegration is a nasty bit of business. And, well, I feel it my obligation to care for those under my employ. You understand. So, I'd hoped to convince your mother to perhaps indulge me in this. And how there's the overdue reunion of us that I think has been left on the back burner for long enough. It's complicated, you understand?
No, very much so. Hope
Well.
that your reunion with her is much warmer than everything else has been, though she did seem a bit angry the last time I spoke with her about you, but that may have just been the fact that you hadn't come back yet.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. Well, I wish you luck on your trip. Could you tell me the time?
Currently, and he kind of like pulls back his sleeve to look at his watch, and he's like, it's about 7:30 in the afternoon.
I thought... Never mind. She's obviously, like, whatever overtook her earlier, she thought it happened over a lot longer period of time than actually happened.
You were in there for probably about an hour.
Yeah. For her, it felt like the entire night. And, she'll, I guess, I don't know, politely dismiss him as she returns to her thoughts.
Before he goes, he kind of, offers to give you a hug.
She'll accept it. It's nice having a little familial warmth.
And he hugs you and just says, it was good to see you. Don't be a stranger.
Of course. I expect I have about 100 and... How many? How old did you say you were again?
I gotta remember the number. 145. That's not right.
That's a lot of birthday presents off to make up for. Anywho, it was nice speaking to you, truly. I have some things I need to consider before I speak to your mother.
If you ever need to reach out, he hands you essentially what is a business card. Just says, you shoot me a call. I will be willing to try to pull some strings if needed.
Of course. Thank you, truly.
He gives a nod, turns to head out the door. There is a moment, once again, the darkness that had taken over for a moment when you were alone kind of comes back, kind of rearing its head. There's a moment of you picture yourself drawing a dagger and stabbing him in the back, him falling, blood splattering on the ground, and then snapping back as he opens the door and walks out. Kind of looks back to you, gives a smile, and closes the door.
Curious, sir. Curious, sir.
You gonna stay in the room for the rest of the night?
Yeah.
Okay. You all sleep for the night, resting.
Grom doesn't sleep because the fox lady scares him.
The fox,
Or the fox person scares
the
him.
the fox scares him. Okay, I guess everyone else goes to sleep. Grom, in the middle of the night, a light shines underneath your doorway.
No, god damn it, no. I get up and I peek.
You peek out of the doorway and you see through this doorway, not the hallway of the manor that you had been in before, but almost a space within a giant tree of some sort. The rest of you, as you are sleeping through the night, find yourselves in a, you don't remember waking up, but you find yourself standing in a very warm space, kind of looking about, seeing, this tree-like space, as if you were inside of a massive trunk of sorts that's been hollowed out and stretches up to the heavens above, almost infinite above you. Looking around the chamber, you see fayish birds and rodents scurrying about and moving about the interior of this tree. Grom, you are compelled to step into the space, the door disappearing behind you as you do, and kind of just...
I already regret this.
As you all are kind of looking around, kind of trying to figure out what happens, you all hear a voice speak from behind kind of the space, like a corner of this tree, and he says, "It seems my guests have finally arrived." And you see this gentleman step out. The Bog, you recognize the voice. You heard him earlier.
Hey, you were the one in my head.
Gives a slight nod. Guilty as charged. I have to admit, I have been watching all of you for some time. You are a
Where are you?
interesting lot. I found a song for this moment. Nope. Yeah, this one works. As he steps out, and names are just a formality. We don't exactly need them, do we?
Are you one of them demon guys that make deals with people? I read about you online one time.
He places a hand upon his chest and goes, "I'm quite insulted by being compared to one of those fiendish creatures. I'm more of a playful spirit in a sense. I like to play games and indulge my entertainment, not damn an individual for my own amusement. Simple tricks."
Like a magician?
Magicians only wish they could perform the tricks that I perform. So you, Lebog, I knew you when you were but a small little hare.
Huh?
It's a shame you don't remember me. You can roll me a history check real quick to see if your memory comes back.
I'm not gonna pass this.
I'll give you advantage. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you said advantage? Oh my god.
You remember this individual. You remember speaking with him in the past. Back before your parents mysteriously disappeared. And your home mysteriously disappeared. You remember he always told you to call him Quill. You weren't exactly sure why. But you knew his name wasn't quite that at all, and he seemed a bit more powerful than most of the Fayish entities that you had encountered in the past.
Uh-huh. Why are we here?
Well, there's a number of reasons. You all are trying to do something I'm quite intrigued about. Specifically, the gathering of old artifacts, one of which you all actually have one of mine.
Oh, yes, the fox mask.
Precisely. You are a quick one, aren't you?
I mean, you're a fox.
Deepwater.
We have a fox mask.
Bravo for being able to put that together so quickly. Others I've messed with in the past have not been able to piece that together as fast as you, young Deepwater. Since I guess most of the gig is up, as it has been a few times now, I will properly introduce myself. And he kind of gives a bow. He says, "The name is Quilvonus, or is better known, the God of the Fae." And he looks back towards you, Lebog, and says, "Though it seems you forgot most of that. And forgot life before when you were under my wing with your parents."
Have I?
It would seem that way, considering you didn't recognize an old friend. And he kind of strokes his beard as he says this.
Oh, I'm just not that good at remembering. I mean, that was like, what, the equivalent of 37 years ago for me?
Give or take. Though, I guess time for me is really just moves significantly faster as I have significantly more time than the rest of you. Though, with your little endeavor, I would like to be able to retrieve some old friends, but you all will need to complete what you are doing in order to do that.
How long have you been around the estate for?
I've been knowing you'll be coming this way for some time. Probably a good 3 or 4 zeniths. I have been playing around with your family, getting to know them, understanding what flaws each have and what hatreds they keep.
Zeniths are days, right, or weeks?
Zeniths are this world's equivalent of months.
Okay. When do we meet Timor?
Probably roughly about a zenith ago, if not a little longer.
Oh, interesting. So I'd say the actual date. So about a zenith ago, I was required to sacrifice a part of me, and seems that opened up a way for Timor to mess with my past a bit. As a god yourself, I assume you exist outside the timelight somewhat, and I was wondering, you've been observing my family for 4 zeniths, you said. Perhaps you observed some abrupt changes around here?
Oh, just a few memory wipes and alterations and things of such things that never really changed the timeline, but just played like puppets on strings, one could say. Quite amusing stuff, that clever little wolf that he is. Though he never really cared for my trickery.
Do you think there's a way to reverse it?
Not without angering him in a significant way, which I do not recommend doing. There are means of stitching back together what has been torn, so to speak.
Hmm.
Though in the grand scheme of everything, I don't think it is all that important. There are more
Probably
important
not.
tasks at hand, and one of which, including getting those artifacts before your little pursuers beat you to them.
Perhaps. Although it might lower the friction here, if you might be able to help me mitigate the damage that Time War has caused. Give us access to new resources, new paths, and pursuing these artifacts.
I've given you already quite the thing that can help. Kind of points towards Labog. He says he's already been under contract in the past. I'm sure he has the resources
I
needed.
have?
Yes, your family made a pact with me to remain in the forest and never go to the city, lest their memory be taken from them and their home vanish forever. Though, I guess I don't blame you for forgetting. The one who ran off to go see the city.
What? No. No, you're lying. No.
Me a liar?
Good boy.
Never. I would never lie about one of my pacts.
Seems like we might have a similar issue then.
That pact that I gave your family was strictly to help care for my little patch of fae that they were taking care of within the material plane. That I allowed them to call home. Entering the city would taint such a place. What about passive insight, out of curiosity? This is a question I've never asked any of you before.
Mine's 16.
Ah. Tina's is
Mine's 10.
10. Oh, what is Grom's? 11. So, alright. I'm gonna roll something. I'm gonna do it in private. Okay. You get a sense, Labog, there's something being hidden right now. Something that's not being said. And you get the feeling it's almost like he wants you to know that there's something hidden.
What aren't you saying?
He smiles at you and says, though you may not be the brightest,
Why
your
is everyone
wits,
saying
yeah, your instincts seem to be doing you just fine. You really must know, my dear Labog, your little predicament of forgetting everything may have been sort of a push. Kind of like a bird being shoved from the nest, so to speak. You remember those adventurers you ran into lost in the woods, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember a particular bearded human man, you know, very well kept, light brown hair, wielding a staff in hand? Seemed a bit more calm than the other two and seemed to be asking all of the questions.
I guess.
Now, it seems you didn't make the comparison at the time, and still will not, but I may have been the one to push you to break your pact. simply to get you to find your purpose in finding said artifacts.
Did you have to do it while I was so young?
I guess I could have waited, but you had so much potential at the time to learn all the things you know now and to encounter that insect in the mountains that made you the way you are and able to protect yourself so well.
No. I'm angry at you.
Rightfully so. You simply feel as if you were caught at the, I guess, as the punchline of a joke. Pretty sour one from your perspective, but fairly humorous one from mine. Though I always do have a lot of fun dropping the smoke and mirrors behind what I do. Though I guess in a sense, all of you have fallen victim to my little game that I have performed at some point.
All of us?
Gives you a smile and says, yes. I like to pull the strings of mortals and make them do things that may benefit or entertain me.
Get a load of this guy.
Akira is one of my favorite ones to play with, though she willingly plays into my hand as she knows that I'm already pulling strings.
You know, that explains a lot.
I think she has more fun out of it than I do. I almost envy her careless spirit, but then I remember that I'm even more so. And he kind of points towards Rena and says, and for you, I've pulled the strings with your family, made this interesting predicament change in a way. The reason that Thalen was able to come and rescue you from that's very unhumorous dragonborn that refuses to fall in line when I pull strings. And
Interesting.
the reason your beloved elf is nowhere to be found at the current moment, as she had been pulled elsewhere upon your arrival. He kind of glances towards Xena and goes, "The little birdie is the only one that I haven't been able to pull strings for, but your little patron is quite harsh and is very irritating to deal with."
I know. She can be a little pushy sometimes.
A little might be an understatement, but
Yeah. I'm just, we don't need to get into too much detail, shall we?
I know you have to hold your tongue. She can easily affect you. I can speak freely, as we are in my domain as well. Though, I must warn you, and the reason I've pulled you all here, one, to, reveal what's behind the curtain of my little act, as well as to offer an olive branch in some sense. And to give you a fair warning of what is coming your way. There's a storm coming, not in a literal sense. For those of you who may have not been able to catch figures of speech, kind of glances towards you, Lebog.
Why are you looking at me?
Says, but in the sense that your little, what are they called? Dragonheart Crusade? It's hot on your tail. And is willing to tear everything to the ground after you killed their most recent member. The next won't be so easy to deal with. Before she even
I mean, none of them.
brings shiver down my spine. And I'm a god.
None of them have been easy. What are you talking about?
I'd say you dispatched that caliber quite simply. The patchwork one wasn't too bad, and the one who is... What a spirit who managed to infiltrate your little hiding place, your little burrow of miscreants, was dispatched without much haste. Though not much trouble either. Plus, that
Alright.
little book of yours does have... that you did get from that first one has seemed to have helped you along the way.
Ox, I have a question for you.
Oh? And what might that be?
Those who harry me, do they have any relation to this Dragonheart Crusade?
Repeat the question, sorry. You said it and my brain blanked out.
All right. She was asking the cult that's after her. Do they have any connections to the Dragonheart Crusade?
Oh, your little Church of the Firstborn or whatnot. The blasphemic group that believes that two of the current gods were once one? No, they have nothing to do with it, but they are a threat in their own, and now that your presence has been revealed once more, in a sense, you've been keeping under wraps for the most part, but your name has gotten out there, and there are those that are searching. So I guess that is part of the storm as well, of things that you might have to deal with.
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
In the sense of your little predicament as well, I could offer a pact of sorts. A simple trade. Something that could get some of your problems with your family resolved, as well as keep that blasted cult group off your back. If you're so willing to trade, young Deepwater.
Trade. Elaborate.
I offered to mend certain bonds, relieve your kin of their disdain for you. Maybe a slight distrust will remain, but nothing that could keep you away from them and possibly will restore your title within the family, as well as permanently keep you from the scrying eyes of the cult. In exchange for a very simple item that you have on you.
Let me guess. Voltian's Orb?
Wow, you are a quick one.
No, I'll repair this on my own. He's the last connection I have to my parents. I would not sacrifice such companionship so easily. If I can even just repair my relation with my sister-in-law, I will be content.
Kinda
But what
gives
do
a
I care if people I've never met dislike me? I need not their companionship.
He kind of gives you a almost a like devious smile and just kind of just you are an entertaining one, aren't you? I think I
My
like
mother
you
is a
even
bard.
more
I
now.
try. I try.
Not only can you fight and dispatch the enemy, you also have very straight conscience that seems to guide you perfectly through every situation. Quite fascinating. You are very much different than your mother. But at the same time, very much the same.
Did you know them? My parents.
Personally, no. Did I pull their strings? Oh, 100%. How else do you think they found each other?
Of course. It's just... I already gave up something to one god. Look how much trouble it's caused. You'll forgive me for being suspect.
He shrugs. He says, none taken. It's a much fairer deal than what Timor did, considering Timor just made you offer up something in order to get nothing in return. I am at least transparent with my deals. Yes, there may have been a little bit between the lines, but I at least gave you some of the fine print.
Of course. But I'm not exactly fluent in legalese. Though I suspect my nephew might be.
Oh yes, quite so, and quite the troublemaker he is, even though he's kept it under wraps for so long. Though it would make sense that why he and his mother would be so eager to see you again, as they also experience disconnect from the family due to situations of the past.
And I'm quite eager myself to meet them.
It seems the sun is rising, and it's best that you all get going. I'll probably see you when you end up going to the jungles. I think it'll be quite a fun little expedition that you'll be going on there. But until then, and he snaps his fingers, all of you go blind for a moment. And all of you wake back up in the places you fell asleep. Grom, you are on the floor. Just on your back, just straight
God
on the
damn
floor.
it.
And the sun is now rising. And that is where I think I will end tonight, even though the reunion has not happened yet, just because of the time. I think this is a good place to end. We can do it next time. I'm sure
This
there's,
was a long.
yeah, I'm sure there's no objections to such a thing. So,
Why are you keeping the voice?
because it's so much fun to talk in this lavish voice of trickery. It's like this voice. It's the one I flock to just frequently. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, join the Discord or follow us on Twitch for updates when we go live. If you want to catch up on previous episodes, check out the YouTube, where everything is organized in their playlist from beginning to wherever it ended up, whether that be completed, discontinued, or in the making. As always, we hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.